What is up, everybody? Welcome to Tony Crypto News. I'm your host, and this is the weekly recap for the week of April 21st through 25th, 2026. This week had it all. Records broken, stocks crashing, scandals in crypto, war drums in the Middle East, and yet the market finished the week at an all-time high. Let's break it all down. We've got the good, the wins, the bad, the misses, and the ugly, the chaos that nobody warned you about. Then I'm giving you exactly what to watch this weekend in crypto and what's set up for Monday in stocks. And as always, we close with something bigger than any chart. Let's get into it. Before we get into the good, the bad, and the ugly, here's the 30-second scoreboard for the week. The S&P 500 touched 7,126, a brand new all-time high on Friday. Bitcoin finished the week up 4%. XRP broke back above $1.50 for the first time since March. And oil? Still sitting above $103 a barrel with the Iran situation refusing to resolve. Here's how each day went. Monday. Stocks slipped as Iran escalation came back. Airlines fell hard. But Bitcoin ETFs had their biggest single-day inflow since January. $664 million. Institutions did not blink. Tuesday, Tesla beat on earnings but missed revenue. Strategy dropped $2.5 billion into Bitcoin in a single week. And crypto Twitter exploded when Justin Sun filed a federal lawsuit against the Trump-connected WLFI project. Wednesday was the ugliest day for software stocks in months. ServiceNow dropped 17%. IBM fell 8%. The carnage spread to Salesforce, Oracle, Adobe. We're going to unpack exactly why in the bad section. Thursday was the redemption story of the week. Intel absolutely crushed earnings. AMD, Qualcomm, Nvidia, the entire chip sector lit up. And nuclear energy had its biggest IPO ever with X Energy raising over $1 billion. Friday, the S&P hit a new record close. But in the same breath, consumer sentiment hit its lowest level ever recorded at 49.8. The market is saying one thing. Regular Americans are feeling something very different. Keep that tension in mind. Now, let's start with the wins. All right, let's talk about what actually went right this week. And there was plenty. Number 1, Intel. This was the biggest earnings surprise of the week. The street expected a loss of 1 cent per share. Intel delivered 29 cents. That is not a beat, that is a total demolition of expectations. 6 consecutive quarters above estimates. Revenue up 7% year over year. The ripple effect was massive. AMD surged 13%, Qualcomm 10%, and Nvidia crossed the $5 trillion market cap threshold again. The AI chip investment thesis is very much alive. Number 2, the S&P hit a record on Friday at 7,126. But here's what makes this one real. 88% of S&P 500 companies that reported this week beat analyst estimates. The 10-year average? 76. Manufacturing PMI came in at 54, well above expectations. The fundamentals are not broken. Number 3, Bitcoin ETFs. $664 million in a single day on Monday. Largest since January. Bitcoin ETFs have now shown inflows for 5 consecutive days. BTC climbed back to 78,700 midweek. Strategy alone bought $2.5 billion in BTC this week and generated $3.6 billion in BTC gains through April. Number 4, X Energy. Went public Friday at $23 a share, already above its expected range, and surged 32% at open. Raised over $1 billion, that is the largest nuclear IPO ever recorded. This is not a coincidence. AI data centers need enormous amounts of reliable power. Nuclear is the answer, and investors know it. And number 5, XRP. Back above $1.50 for the first time since March. Coinbase confirmed trade at settlement futures go live May 1st, putting XRP on the same institutional execution level as Bitcoin, Ethereum, gold, and crude oil. SBI Remit and Tatri Bank confirmed a Ripple Ledger partnership. ETF cumulative inflows hit $1.28 billion. 0 outflows for 15 straight days. The infrastructure is being built in real time. Those are your wins. Now, the losses. Not everything was green this week. Far from it. Here's what missed and what it means. Number 1, ServiceNow, beat on earnings and revenue. Should have been a positive day, but management told investors their acquisition of armies would weigh on margins, and the stock got hammered 17%. Worse, the contagion spread fast. Salesforce fell 4.5%. Oracle shed 3. Adobe dropped 2.3. Palo Alto, Intuit, Palantir, all down. We're talking hundreds of billions of dollars wiped from the enterprise software sector in a single session. This is the market warning that AI spending needs to show real returns. And soon. Number 2, IBM. Revenue up 14% year over year. That sounds good. But they held full-year guidance unchanged. And in this environment, unchanged guidance reads as a warning sign. The market was pricing in an upgrade. IBM didn't deliver one. Down 8%. Number 3, Tesla. Beat EPS at 41 cents versus 37 expected, but missed revenue by $250 million, then dropped a bomb on the earnings call in $5 billion in additional capital spending above prior guidance. Stock initially popped 4%, then closed down 3.6%. Tesla is now down 14% for the year. BYD and Xiaomi are taking real market share globally. Number 4, and this one matters more than people realize. The University of Michigan's Consumer Sentiment Index came in at 49.8, the lowest reading ever recorded, down 6.6% from just 1 month ago. Remember, consumer spending is 70% of the U.S. economy. When people feel this bad about the future, they stop spending. And if they stop spending, corporate earnings eventually follow. Keep watching this number. And number 5, airlines. American, Delta, United, all down 2+% Monday morning as oil crept back over 103. Higher fuel costs plus nervous travelers equals margin compression. The ceasefire gave the sector a brief recovery. Iran's re-escalation took it away just as fast. The bad was real this week, but the ugly? That's something else. Now we get to the part nobody likes to talk about, the stuff that makes you question the whole space. Let's go. Number 1, and this is big. Tron founder Justin Sun invested $75 million into World Liberty Financial, the Trump family's crypto project. Then, he says, the team blacklisted his wallet, stripped his voting rights, and threatened to destroy his holdings without any legal recourse. He filed in California federal court on Tuesday. The allegation? That a secret confiscation backdoor was built directly into the protocol's smart contract. Whether this holds up in court or not, the optics of a Trump-affiliated crypto project involved in a federal lawsuit over alleged token manipulation is as ugly as it gets. And every XRP holder, every crypto investor needs to understand, not all projects are built with integrity. Number 2, Kelp DAO got exploited. $71 million in ETH was frozen by Arbitrum's Security Council. ARB actually pumped on the news of the security response. But let's not miss the point. Another DeFi protocol, another exploit, another reminder that smart contract risk is real, ongoing, and not fully priced into most people's portfolios. Always know what you're holding and how it's secured. Number 3, this one is deeply unsettling. A BBC investigation found unusual trading spikes occurring minutes before multiple Trump market-moving announcements. The example they highlighted, a surge of oil short bets 47 minutes before a CBS interview that triggered a 25% drop in oil prices. Not confirmed as insider trading, but the pattern has now appeared multiple times. If true, this is a systemic integrity problem for the entire market. Number 4. While Bitcoin was rallying 4% on the week, the WLFI token was getting absolutely crushed. The lawsuit, the wallet blacklist allegations, the public chaos between the team and their largest backer, token holders got punished for drama they had nothing to do with. This is why due diligence on the team and governance of any project you invest in is non-negotiable. And number 5, Iran. The ceasefire on April 17th pulled crude oil down 13%. Beautiful rally across the board. 7 days later, re-escalation. Iran reactivating near the Strait of Hormuz. Oil back above 103. The Strait handles roughly 21% of all global oil traffic. Bank of America's global economist put it plainly. The market may be underpricing this risk because it's treating Iran like a trade war that de-escalates unilaterally. It is not. Stay vigilant. All right, that's the ugly truth about this week. Now let's talk about what to do with it, starting with the weekend. The weekend is not when you sleep on crypto. This is when the setups form. Here's what I'm watching. Watch XRP and the 1.45 resistance level. If it breaks and closes above that with conviction this weekend, when volumes are lower and only real buyers are moving, that's institutional accumulation building into the Coinbase TAS go live on May 1st. The RSI is sitting at 57. That means there's room to run without being overbought. The floor to defend is 1.40. If that holds, the setup heading into next week is very constructive. Bitcoin is coiling just under 78,000. Here's the critical number. If BTC breaks 79,384, that triggers $1.27 billion in short liquidations automatically. That forced buying could send Bitcoin to 85,000 very quickly. On the flip side, and if it drops to 71,958, long liquidations of nearly $2 billion get triggered. Watch this range like a hawk all weekend. The Mar-a-Lago meme coin gala for top Trump token holders was happening this weekend. Trump coin surged going into it. Events like this historically create short-term pump and dump cycles, with the Justin Sun lawsuit adding chaos to the entire Trump crypto narrative. Expect elevated volatility in this space, not a long-term play, but worth watching for short-term movement if you're positioned. The stablecoin infrastructure story got stronger this week. XLM surged on its Protocol 26 launch and rising network activity. 12 European banks announced they're building a MyCA-compliant Euro stablecoin targeting H2 2026. The U.S. Treasury projects a 10 times growth in the stablecoin market by 2030. XLM, HBR, and Sky are the infrastructure plays before that wave arrives. This weekend is a DCA opportunity. And finally, the most important number to understand this weekend. The Fear and Greed Index is at 46, fear territory, but it improved from 33 earlier in the week. Bitcoin ETFs had 5 consecutive days of net inflows. Ethereum ETFs? 8 straight days. The most panicked phase may be behind us. History shows the strongest crypto rallies begin in fear zones. If your conviction is high, the weekend is the time to quietly accumulate before the Monday moves. Now, what's set up for stocks on Monday? I need you to understand something. The week of April 28th is one of the most consequential single weeks in all of 2026 for financial markets. Here's why. Wednesday, April 29th. Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Meta all report on the same night. Combined market cap, over $10 trillion. If all 4 beat, expect the S&P to push toward new records. If 2 or more miss, buckle up. Microsoft has the most to prove after falling 14% year-to-date. Their AI monetization story needs validation. Same day as the Mag 4 earnings. The Federal Reserve announces its interest rate decision. Markets are pricing in a hold. But here's what matters most. Chair Powell's language in the press conference. If he says patient, hold. If he says flexible or data-dependent, with an emphasis on the downside, that signals a possible cut is coming. A dovish surprise sends both stocks and crypto higher immediately. Intel's massive earnings beat should carry semiconductor momentum into Monday's open. AMD was up 13% Friday. Qualcomm, 10%. NVIDIA hit $5 trillion again. The question is whether this enthusiasm holds or fades through the weekend. Intel's Q2 guidance of $13.8 to $14.8 billion in revenue is above consensus. That's the green light for the whole sector. Don't sleep on Apple Thursday. The iPhone continues facing China competition pressure. But the number that actually moves the stock is services revenue. Apple TV, App Store, subscriptions. If services accelerates, the stock rallies even on weak hardware. If both miss, Apple drags the whole market with it. Apple reports are always events, and the wild card that overrides everything else. Check crude oil prices before the Monday morning open. If Iran escalates further over the weekend, oil spikes, energy stocks pop, airlines bleed, tech gets pressure, and crypto may face a flight to safety moment. If there's positive news on the ceasefire, the reverse happens. Oil is the most important macro signal going into Monday morning. Do not ignore it. Watch the FOMC, watch the Mag 4, watch oil. And remember, the best investors in the world don't just watch, they prepare. Now, before I let you go, I have something more important than any of these numbers to share with you. Before we close out this week's recap, I want to take 60 seconds and speak to something that goes deeper than any chart. This week, the markets had records and crashes in the same breath. We watched scandals unfold, billion-dollar projects get sued, and ordinary investors get hurt by the decisions of powerful people. We watched consumer sentiment hit its lowest point ever recorded. People are worried. People are scared. But here's what I know, and what I want you to hold on to as you go into this weekend. Proverbs 16 verse 3 says this, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans." Not he might, not he could, he will. Your worth is not in your net worth. Your security is not in a ticker symbol. Your future is not determined by whether Bitcoin breaks 79,000 this weekend or whether a DeFi protocol gets hacked. Those things are real, but they are temporary. Steward your money wisely, do your research, make smart decisions, but build on a foundation that cannot be shaken by a market correction or a geopolitical event. That foundation is faith. If you're someone who's been grinding, working hard, investing carefully, trying to build something better for your family, I want you to know God sees that. Every disciplined decision you make, every dollar you steward with integrity, every time you choose wisdom over impulse, that's not just good investing, that's good character. And character is the foundation of everything that actually lasts. Keep going, the best is still ahead of you. If this week's recap added value to your life, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this with one person who needs to hear it. New content every week, markets, picks, and a word of encouragement to close it out. I'm Tony. God bless you, and I'll see you next week. Let's get it.